If you've ever felt frustrated because you can't call in your favorite personal vehicle for a certain mission, then you're not alone. Rockstar has limited our choices to keep up the challenge for players, but that doesn't mean that we're completely left without any good options. In this video, I'm going to show you the top 5 absolute best meta vehicles for grinding missions and making money. We're going to break down ones that will give you the edge that you need in this game, whether it's the Cluck and Bell farm raid with Vincent, or if you're into some of those intense Dr. Dre contract missions. These cars are going to help you dominate during them, so definitely stick around to learn about which vehicles you should be using to make your grinding smoother and more efficient, and I think you're really going to like that number 1 choice. So let's jump into number 5. At first, we have the Duke o' Death. Now, this car is free on Warstock. I know some players say that it isn't free and it costs $665,000, but I'm pretty sure Rockstar made it free for everyone. It was supposed to be unlocked for original generation players on the 360 and PS3 who then migrated to Xbox One and PlayStation 4, but there were some glitches with it, so I'm pretty sure Rockstar just made it free for everyone. But either way, this is the number 5 vehicle today. It's got really strong acceleration, so you can reach its top speed and evade threats really fast. It can reach up to 115 miles an hour for its top speed, so it's going to be one of the faster armored vehicles and still a pretty decently fast muscle car in general. When it comes to braking, it's got decent braking capabilities, although it's going to feel a bit heavy due to the armor that it has. The handling is also pretty good for its class, but it may require a little bit of skill to maneuver effectively if you're in like really tight spaces, just because the turning radius is a little bit wide. And then when it comes to traction, I think it's incredible. It has excellent traction, especially on those dirt roads and rugged terrain, so you could use this basically all across the map. And then I think what players really want to know is the defensive capabilities. You do have some bulletproof armor here, which is going to give you extensive protection against incoming gunfire. You could see all around the vehicle you have like metal plating on the windshield and the side windows and all that, with one narrow slit in the windshield, which, you know, you can get shot through, but you're going to get highly reduced vulnerability from it. And I think most of the time NPCs are going to miss you unless you're like standing still, for example, and then they shoot through it. In terms of explosion resistance, we also get that. You can withstand 6 homing missiles with this armored car, or you can withstand 3 sticky bombs, so it's going to be highly durable. In terms of offensive capabilities, of course, this car is more focused on defense, so you have no built-in weaponry or anything like that. But overall, the Duke of Death, it's an incredible vehicle. If you guys are enjoying this video so far, or if you just found it helpful in the meantime, let me know by dropping a like on it. And if you want to stay up to date with everything else GTA Online and Rockstar Games, then please consider hitting that subscribe button with your bell notifications turned on. Now let's jump into number 2, which I'll be more specific on, but it is Imani tech vehicles, and more specifically, the Dubachi Champion that you can get off Legendary Motorsport for $3,750,000. The Dubachi Champion, honestly, it has great acceleration for an armored vehicle. You can quickly get up to speed if you're evading enemies, or even if you're just racing to mission objectives. I'd say it has a respectable top speed of around 125 miles an hour, which I'd say is sufficient enough for a supercar, and of course that's going to be suitable for most of the mission scenarios you're going to be using it in. The braking system is also really good. You get that reliable stopping power despite it probably being a heavy vehicle because of the armor that you get and you can apply to it. The handling is also going to be solid. You get a nice well-balanced feel. It's going to be easy to navigate through the city or chase down targets, you know, maybe if you're going through an alleyway or something like that. In terms of traction, also really good. It's pretty good off-road, surprisingly, despite this vehicle being extremely low to the ground, and I think you're going to have really good control at high speeds. The turning radius is really nice. When it comes to the defensive capabilities, of course, it's an Imani tech vehicle, so you can withstand up to 4 explosions, so that's going to be ideal where you might face heavy firepower from enemies. But I think more specifically here, more than just explosion resistance with Imani tech vehicles, something players overlook is cars that have semi-bulletproof glass, and this is one of them. So this is going to give you that really nice protection, and it'll give you protection against 15 rounds of incoming gunfire, so that'll give you a little bit of extra time to find cover or even retaliate on whoever is shooting at you, whether it's a player, if you're just using it in the free roam, or of course enemies that are shooting you during a mission itself. It doesn't really have any offensive capabilities. Once again, it's focused on defense and survivability. The other car you could check out if you want a different Imani tech vehicle is the Ocelot Virtue. That's an electric supercar you can unlock as a completion reward for finishing all of the first and last dose contact missions. That car is electric, so you'll withstand 12 RPGs or homing rockets with the armor plating upgrade, but it doesn't have semi-bulletproof glass, which I think is going to be a little bit more helpful for missions here, because not a bunch of enemies are going to be shooting rockets at you in PvE combat, but of course explosion resistance resistance is really helpful for PvP combat, just not as relevant here. For number 3, we do have the Weaponized Tampa, and I love this one. You can get it for $2.1 million on Warstock Cash and Carry. As a muscle car here, you get fast acceleration, it's super quick off the line, and it's also really effective if you just, once again, want to evade enemies or get into like some type of rapid engagement. You'll get right into the action or right out of the action really fast with the Tampa. You can get up to about 112, 113 miles an hour with this car, and so that's going to be suitable for most combat situations. Once again, in terms of braking, I think it has really good braking performance, and that's going to be necessary if you want some good controlled stops and to avoid obstacles, because I would say this car is a little bit crash prone. It's going to be a little bit harder to control at speed than other vehicles we've talked about here today, but overall in general as well, still agile enough handling, and you can do some sharp turns and evasive maneuvers if you need. It's got strong enough traction unless you absolutely push it past its limits. It is, a muscle car at the end of the day. It's not a super stance sports car or supercar. I would say it does have good stability during high-speed chases. When it comes to defensive capabilities, you are very vulnerable to explosions and gunfire because it's got light armor, it blows up after one rocket, things like that. But the good thing is the offensive capabilities with this vehicle. You get a lot of options. You get that remote minigun that you can mount on the roof, and this minigun can quickly take out enemies and vehicles. You can also equip explosive mines, and when you drop them, you'll eliminate any threats pursuing you from behind. You get some missiles with the top-mounted weapon, so the front-mounted missiles are really good for direct engagements. You need to shoot cops and clear them out of your way in front of you. You're good to go, and you even get some rear mortars as well, and so those are going to be effective once again with enemies tailing you. I like those in combination with the missiles as well. This is just a highly offensive-focused vehicle. Low armor and low defense, but you don't really need that like explosion resistance once again for PvE combat. You're just gonna need, by the time you finish this mission, your car may almost blow up, but you'll be fine because you'll be finished with the mission. And then now let's move on to number 2. We do have the armored Kuruma. Everyone loves this car. You can get it on Southern San Andreas Super Autos for $698,250. The acceleration with this car is excellent. It's definitely going to be one of the quickest armored cars once again. You can reach speeds of over 110 miles an hour. Not much faster, but I would say it's perfect for getting from mission to mission or to various mission objectives very quickly. Again, the braking is pretty good. You're able to maintain control around turns, things like that. This car isn't going to step out on you. I think it has like pretty consistent handling and handling that you should expect for this type of car. Traction's pretty good. I think it actually has superb traction, especially on the asphalt, so you'll get good enough stability there and also in various conditions if you do need to take it off-road. But what players love about this car is the defensive capabilities once again. It basically provides fully bulletproof protection with you from all angles, so that's going to give you unmatched protection against, of course, enemies once again shooting you, and you have that incoming gunfire coming at you. In terms of explosion vulnerability, it is going to be susceptible to explosive damage, so that's going to be this car's primary weakness. Just keep that in mind. And again, no real offensive capabilities here. It's once again a defensive focused vehicle, but when it comes to just using this car to get in the action and shoot people out of the window, you're good to go with the armored Kuruma, because enemy AI and enemy NPCs in the game are going to be very hard pressed to actually hit you with this car just because of the fact of how bulletproof it is. And then finally, for number 1, probably the most helpful I think, but also one of the more expensive vehicles, we have the Vigilante off Warstock, available for $3,750,000. This car obviously has insane acceleration due to the fact that you get a rocket boost with this car, so it's going to be one of the fastest vehicles off the line in the game. You can reach over 150 miles an hour with the rocket boost, and so that's going to make it also the fastest vehicle for getting around when you're doing missions. It's got good brakes for its size, and obviously you need good brakes to manage that high speed. In terms of handling, for what this vehicle's intended purpose is, I think it has some pretty good handling, especially once again considering its super long wheelbase, its size, its shape, its weight. I mean, it's basically the Batmobile right here, so it's not going to be like an F1 handling car, but it also has good traction here. You're not going to really understeer or oversteer all that much. You're just not going to be able to turn super sharply with the rocket boost, but overall, once again, you can maintain control during high speeds. In terms of defensive capabilities, you do get some nice heavy armor here. It's going to provide you with substantial protection against incoming gunfire, and I would say you get moderate explosion resistance. You can withstand a few explosions, but it's not going to be as durable as some of the other armored vehicles, like say for example the Ocelot Virtue, the Duke of Death, as well as the Dubachi Champion that we listed today. In terms of offensive capabilities, you get 2 options. You have the homing missiles. You get equipped with around 30 homing missiles on this car, so that's going to make it extremely powerful for eliminating all types of enemies, whether they're right in front of you, to the side, things like that, because they are homing missiles. And then when it comes to the other offensive capability, this is what I would consider it as. It's kind of like defense and offensive depending on how you use it. it is that rocket boost. So that not only increases your speed, but it's going to allow for more powerful offensive maneuvers, because you could basically send vehicles flying if you want, or if you're like, oh crap, I'm about to die, I don't have time to snack up or armor up or anything like that, you could just rocket boost right out of the way and then kind of like reposition and take time to kind of reconvene, plan your next move, and then jump right back into the action. And so with that being said, those are my top 5 best cars for mission grinding in GTA Online. I think all of these cars are going to give you ample offensive weaponry, some extremely helpful defensive capabilities, and of course tons more awesome features that aren't normally found on any of your run-of-the-mill supercars or sports cars in the game. We specifically focus on cars today, but if we include some air vehicles like planes and helicopters, or maybe even flying bikes, I think that list will expand to something incredible as well. And so if you want to see a top 5 overall best vehicles video for money grinding in general with the free roam, and that will include the rest of the free roam content with the vehicles we didn't cover today, then let me know in the comments and I will make that video for you guys as well. Hopefully you all enjoyed the video here today, and if you did, hopefully I earned your like on it. And of course, if you are new to my channel and you want to stay up to date with all the best GTA Online, Red Dead Online, and Rockstar Games content, then please consider hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss out on a single thing we post here on the channel. We consistently talk about updates, news, information, tips, tricks, and even leaks, and we will keep you guys updated here on the channel daily, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to follow me over on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram, those are the best places to get connected with me outside of YouTube, and you're more than welcome to ask me any questions on those platforms. You can follow me at Hazardous HDTV, and all of my social media links can be found in the description down below. Once again, thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully you all have a fantastic day, and I will see you guys in the next GTA 5 Online video. Adios, amigos.